all year round, he tried to save the cans for me. Like, he tells me what days to come. If they throw away books, he holds it for me. The cans, he tells me what time to come. So I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll be there by 6. And when he brings out the cans for the recycle, he makes sure that nobody takes the cans, and he holds them for me. Oh, it went great, man. I got plenty cans. Look at all these cans I got. I got books. I got beer. Nice can of bottled free beer, right? And got all these bottles and cans. I take them all to the store, and I make my money this way. At least it's an honest dollar. Thank you. You find books. You find different, even bicycles, furniture, you know, that's still good. Television, radios, all of this stuff that they throw away, which they could give it to somebody. I find it, I fix it, and I keep it for myself. And at least I have something.
It's a form of gambling or hunting. It's a form of, like, adventure. It's economics. I really need to do this because I live off of this. I've had different reactions. I've had people offer me money for food or buy me food early in the morning, which is very nice. And I've had people scream at me, get a job, or get out of here, or what are you, a dog? At this time in my life, I'll be having my 50th birthday in October. This is the most adventurous. It's the closest to the time period of when I was a kid with my dad, because it was always exciting to go with him and never know what it was going to be. And sort of like this, you go out on the street by bike or foot and you kind of shop. This is a shallow bin. Some of these can be literally double-storied. And if you were to slip down in one of these, you could have your throat cut by a piece of glass that's in there, or nails, or something, or get trapped in there and no one's around. Sometimes you're on a dark side of the street, getting in there and finding that you're in there with someone who doesn't like you, that decides that this is their bin. You know, that's happened too. This can be dangerous. They've got this great Judaica piece. I'm thinking if I can get it home and maybe mat it up to here. The faces are wonderful. Of course, we have the Jesus with the burning heart, okay, with plastic. And we have these great, like, Madonna and Child Russian icons. Okay, they're cards, but they look nice in little frames. The riding cap, it's very cool. Actually, put my cap on. You know, this is my official picking hat. It says members only. Right next to the Judaica was this great Betsy Johnson jacket, right? Now, early I found 2 Hawaiian shirts that are similar to this, women's. So it must be a pattern tonight, okay? Seems to have been religious art so far and floral items that I've been finding. It's in very good condition considering it was lying under something. So I feel like I dug up something from, you know, like Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii, and it's in good shape. My nemesis. These guys are always the enemy. Keep that in mind. Those big garbage trucks, they will zoom right in on this and take it while you're in it.
You're your own boss. You start when you want and you quit when you want. And you don't go to work if you don't want.
pick up scrap metal, aluminum, wires, brass, copper, you know, from demolition site, construction site. You find everything, especially when you're looking. You find everything. Sometimes the expected, sometimes the unexpected.
Of course I'm doing good. Benefit cleaning up the recycling. Someday the wire I pick today will become the electronics of tomorrow, who knows?
Recycling is very important, you know, for the earth, for tomorrow, for the children. With savings, what a lot of people wasting, we're using them all over again.
It's scratched, but it's going to have to do.
I scavenge the roads. If that's what a scavenger is, then I'm it. Being a scavenger is, hey, it's what you have to be in the 90s. 90s is the decade of the scavenger. Whether it's what I'm doing, aluminum cans, recycling.
Okay, we've got an 88 Lincoln here. We've got two Camry hubcaps here. It's very ironic that we got them here. This is approximately the same spot I picked up my first cap when I was about 5 or 6 years old.
And the most caps I picked up in one day was on a Sunday. I left my house, drove to the Cross Bronx, the worst highway in the Bronx, the Cross Bronx. And from that one highway alone, I picked up 125 caps. Yes, you heard me right. My car was full. I have to answer this. Hubcap Joe. Speaking.
Look at that. Doesn't that look great?
Let's say a guy with a 95 car hits a pothole or whatever, and he loses one cap, and it comes off really clean with no dents or scratches, and I come along and I pick it up. When I pick that thing up and I see that thing is mint, I let out a scream that you could probably hear in Kansas.
I began picking up cans. Then from the cans, I noticed that that books were also being thrown away. And since it was more money, so I started picking them up instead. One thing led to another. I started meeting people, you know, superintendents, people who are discarding books, and you know, I built up a supply over the last couple of years. I've made more doing this than I made in 9-to-5 jobs. I mean, there have been times when I've made $500 in a day. You know? Some people don't make that in a week.
Any other subject besides that? Because that was Birds go cheap, I go cheaper. I'll tell you what, this is the way I sell books. The next two are for $1. All right? I figure usually people buy just one. But I made $16 one time doing this. Now the next two, they were for $1. Then after they do that, I'm going to say the next three are for $1. Watch.
How you doing? Well, I sell my books to street vendors, you know, individuals that have their own setup and selling books, you know, they use that as their occupation. I sell it to bookstores that buy used books or rare books, so forth and so on. Then you have like individual book collectors, so to speak.
Hey, with the french fries, right? A lot of ketchup on the french fries. And the chicken. And the chicken. Hey, what I tell you, man? Didn't I tell you I ain't want to be in the documentary?
A lot of people out here is homeless, but that don't mean that they're nasty, dirty, and bum. And people think that of us, you know? They don't know. They might be the one that comes down themselves. Never low-rate anybody, especially the homeless. I started off selling magazines off the ground and ended up with a couple of books. People start donating. You know, people start donating books. Then I got into it, then I really got deep into it. I know what the people want, and I give it to them. I sleep with my books, I eat with my books, you know? Ain't nobody gonna sit if I leave them, other people, guys, takes them, so I stay with them. People around the neighborhood, they're good people. Some are good and some are bad. Some of the bad ones don't like you in the neighborhood, like you're messing up their neighborhood. I get along with everybody, good or bad. I get along with everybody. It's no big thing about who's this and who's that, you know? I deal with this. It's what you call survival, you know? A lot of people I know cannot go through it. And they think that the homeless can't handle this and they bums or they do drugs and all. That's BS. There's got all kinds of homeless people out here.
Acceptable effort to succeed in this society.
Also works like in a bookstore, because they have like a display outside their store, and I pack the display up and bring it back inside the store. And it's usually maybe, like I said, an hour or two at night, and on Saturday mornings. I work like on Saturday mornings also. And the pay is like, you know, minimum wage, you know, $6, $7 an hour.
In comparison, you can say that Barnes & Noble is the big fish, I'm the little fish. But it is now after midnight, Barnes & Noble is closed. I'm still open. So I keep my show on the road and I continue to reap in a little bit of capital while Barnes & Noble is closed. That way I may be able to catch up with Barnes & Noble